Hi, everybody. I would like to talk to you just a little bit about middle 1800s photography, when photography is a brand new art. You can see on the image here, the camera is invented a long time ago. However, the first time that people start to use one for kind of what we would interpret as a modern view of photography is not until the middle 1800s. And winding up, as you can see here, in 2000 with the first camera phone. Photography has gone from professionals only with very special equipment being able to do it to anybody being able to take any picture pretty much anytime, but not at school because you don't have a right to freedom of speech, press, or publication all the time at school. So maybe if you've ever seen the first YouTube video ever produced, well, this guy is the inventor of YouTube and he had this great idea. This first video, he doesn't really know what to do with this technology. He's recording himself at the San Diego Zoo in front of the elephants, and it's like a 18, 20-second video. Go watch it sometime, and you'll say, oh boy, we really have made a lot of progress from this first video ever. Same is true of the first Snapchat ever. The first ones, we didn't really quite know what to do with this technology. Over the years, we've kind of figured out how to make things attractive and how to make it interesting for people so they would want to look at it. Well, that same is true for the first cameras. At first, we weren't really quite sure what to do with this technology, but this image, is one of the first ever made of Niagara Falls in 1840. That's 100 and almost 80 years ago. And so, we didn't really quite know what to do with this technology at first. Paintings, like you see on the left, were much more popular in the middle 1800s. But eventually, photography took over. But you couldn't really take a picture of a moving item. Middle 1800s photography, well, there you go. There's the professionals with a professional piece of equipment that only professional people could do. Not just anybody could take pictures. During the Civil War, this became really, really big. Professional photographers would go to battlefields and, take pictures of scenery. You still couldn't take pictures of moving events. The pictures would turn out blurry. So there's a lot of pictures, unfortunately, of, landscapes and human dead or animal dead because they don't move and they could make a good picture. This is a portable photography studio. We've got a couple of horses that would pull the equipment. Photographers would go to the battlefields, spend some time there, take pictures, make them kind of like postcards, and then sell them. And they were big sellers. People in the Civil War just loved buying these images. And you would say, ew, how gross. They're taking pictures of dead bodies and whatever else. We're really not that different, are we? We like to watch slasher horror movies, or maybe you slow down when you pass a car accident to see what happened. We really like the scandal. This is a famous picture from Gettysburg with a Confederate soldier who's down, his gun leaning against some rocks. This is in an area at Gettysburg known as Devil's Den. And this might also be a great example of fake news. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, fake news is not something that has been invented only recently. This image was sold as a Confederate sharpshooter in Devil's Den. But this body, believe it or not, appears in several pictures. Yes, the same body. They probably found him somewhere else. He was a good-looking corpse, and so they took a picture of him where they found him, and then moved him here to Devil's Den, took another picture, and took him somewhere else, made another picture. This guy got a lot of work after he was dead. Unfortunately, didn't collect any royalties. But yeah, this picture is not really a Confederate sharpshooter in Devil's Den, even though this is how the picture was sold and was very popular. During the Civil War, actually, in an actual battle, it was very difficult to take pictures because of everybody moving and things. A picture wouldn't turn out right. So magazines like Harper's Weekly, the biggest selling magazine at the time, sent sketch artists like this man. This is Alfred Woad. He's sitting on a rock in Devil's Den, and he is looking at Little Round Top. He is sketching what he's seeing. That's how you put pictures into newspapers and magazines in the Civil War period. But eventually we figure out what to do with that photography. And that's where we get to modern photography and videography and cinematography today. It's all just developed over time till we figure out how to do things better and better. The activity you're going to work on right now is called a Civil War photo gallery activity. You have this sheet of paper that's on the left half of the screen, and around the room there are 25 images somewhat like what you see on the right. Now the idea is you're going to spend a little bit of time reading through these descriptions of the 25 pictures first. And what I'd like you to do is take your pen, your pencil, whatever you have, and, well, maybe you would highlight a couple of, at least one thing in each of these descriptions showing what you're looking for. For example, this first one of the pictures has 3 men who are Confederate prisoners captured at Gettysburg. You might underline 3 men because, well, that's what's going to be in the picture. You'll eventually go look at these pictures and try to match up the letter on the picture with the description. In number 1, you might also underline they're near a pile of fence rails. They're holding their personal belongings. They have no weapons. This will help you figure out which image goes with which description. All of these images are from the Civil War period. Some of them are of military people, like this gentleman and his wife. He's wearing a military uniform. She's wearing civilian clothing because she's not in the Army. She is in civilian, normal, everyday clothes. Number 2, maybe something you underline would be a group of soldiers, all black regiment. These are some clues when your observations will help you interpret which picture this is. So you're going to circulate around the room here in a little bit. You are going to match the descriptions on the page with the image. It's kind of an elaborate matching activity, but make sure you take some time to underline a couple of things on each of these, so you understand what you're looking for. Now, this one in particular maybe needs some explanation. Several of the pictures ask you to find someone with a Napoleonic pose. Well, that's what this is, with his hand inside his uniform jacket, trying to look like Napoleon Bonaparte, the world conqueror. Some of them will say the person has stars on their shoulders. That's part of their uniform, showing that they're a general. This is a military uniform. This is civilian clothing. Some of them ask for people in civilian clothing. Some are military people. So there you go. You're going to highlight a few descriptions before viewing those photos. And when it's time, you will walk around the room. You will kind of match these together. Remember a couple of things. Take your time. Accuracy is more important than speed. Also remember, we're not touching each other. We're not acting stupid or doing dumb things that are going to get us in trouble. And finally, if you want to use one of the whiteboards, the little whiteboards that we use for current events, to use as like a table to carry along with you, that's fine. You're welcome to do that. All right, so you're using your skills of observation and interpretation, things we've worked on many times in this class, to complete the Civil War photo gallery activity.